travels all over the world. They're rich, they're pretty, there's a lot of, how come they're rich? They're communists. It's a different type of communism. Whatever it is that they want to introduce that. What do you call it, didn't want it. And so they made a revolution against him. They wanted to oust him. They came to Moscow, they marched on Moscow, the army. At that time, Zeltsin, he was the mayor of Moscow. He came out and he said, see, you're going to pass over me to get into Moscow. And all of a sudden the soldiers jumped out of the tanks and everything else, and they ended the revolution. And what he called he asked us communism the next day. That was the end of communism. Communism, they were so powerful, so things, our kids are going to bury your kids, and all of a sudden they don't exist anymore. So how they start, and the same thing, how did the whole Russian thing fall apart when Poland had a schnapps in Dortmund. That would be whatever his name was there, that he let they raised the double the price of vodka. So for that they made the whole block that they made fell apart. And the thing over there. So that's called the union of Shem Shakai. Now there's going to be a time when this is going to happen, and it's going to happen at that time, no matter whether it's logical or illogical, it's going to happen. That's the way it is. The same thing happens in many things in people's lives. Shidduchim and stuff like that for sure happens that way. That's what he says, and they trusted me with Shakai. Then he tells them that I heard the way and therefore I'm going to, and this is taking place, remember this is taking place right after Pari made the laws that they stopped giving the Teven, and they have to still have the Maskenas Halevenim, this still has to be the same. So I'm not giving you any help, and you still got to produce, and it's a very bad time. I'm telling you, you're going to have 4 degrees of freedom before we give you talk weiter. Those 4 degrees of freedom are, every kid knows the Lashonis, so I'm saying it can't mean that just because you have 4 synonyms of the word freedom, therefore that's why we drink 4 cases of yayin. If we have 7 synonyms, and I'm sure we can dig up some more synonyms, we're not going to drink more glasses of wine. I mean, that's not the point of it, because there are synonyms. There's a madrege, and that's what he told them. You're not going to have any more avodas perach. That's the first level. I'm going to make sure you're not going to be slaves at all, even without grace of work. It's interesting that I would think that Geula is a bigger Loshen than Yitzalti. Yitzalti means to save. Yitzalti means I'll take you out. When I say Gealti, I'm going to redeem you. Somehow I'm going to think that. So I'm going to make you, because what I do at that time, I made you into citizens of Mitzrayim. You're going to be citizens of Mitzrayim. Ober, you're going to have to be like a Mitzri. That's the first madriga. I'll take you then from a nation of mine that you want to be a Sabbath observer? Okay, fine, we'll change the taste of the test. We'll give you, you don't have to do what these things are and stuff like that, exactly like America is right now. That's what's going to happen in Mitzrayim, and that's when you're going to go out. Okay, so now the question is, why do I want to go out? Right? Why should I want to go out? I got everything in Mitzrayim, I might as well stay in Mitzrayim, right? Who did that happen to? It happened to the Mitzrayim, the Jews. So what happened? It came Choshech, and 4/5 die, or Chamushim, only a fifth go out. The Rebbeinu Shem doesn't want you because you're unhappy here. That's why you have to go to Eretz Yisrael. That's not the reason you're going to Eretz Yisrael. You're going to Eretz Yisrael because that's where I'm going to make a Beis HaMikdash, and that's my land, and that's the land you can do the mitzvahs, horetz, and so on. And therefore you can reach the kedusha and the madrega that you're supposed to reach is only in Eretz Yisrael. There's no such thing as chutz la'aretz that's comfortable. I'm not doing this for your comfort. That's not the point of comfort. That's the point. Now you'll ask me, where did I ever think? I personally had this case. I was in 1950, I was in the Capitol, and I was thrown out of the Capitol because I wore a yarmulke. I was 13 years old, and they kicked me out. And they told me, get that beanie off your head, and I told them, I need it for my religion. He says, get out of this building. And that's the state. And that was the law, not only in the Capitol, it was in a public library. You couldn't wear a hat or a yarmulke. So how come I didn't know about that? I knew about a public library because the public library is on the east side. So who do you think is in the east side? Only for Yidden. So they made it, they didn't check you. But Lamaise, they was illegal. And ad hayom, if you want to be a congressman, and you're going to sit in the hall of Congress in order to be able to pass laws, you have to remove the hair covering from your head covering. In fact, the Arab, I don't know if they ever passed it for her or not, but they intended to pass a law that she could wear a tichel on her head, but she also can't wear it. And the only reason we got this far is not because of us, and that's the reason of the Hevesi, is because the Punjabs that came from Pakistan, they wouldn't remove their turbans, no matter what jobs they had. And because of that, because they have their own religion coming from their own country, so they gave him the rights to do that in America too. And once he did that, so they gave us already the rights to wear yarmulke at the same time. But Lamaise, it had nothing to do with us, so that they reached another madrig of freedom or something like that, and they understood that. And that's when we're going to leave. So that's the case. So why are we leaving? So what was the mice? Why are we giving all these makis to Pari if we're going to have to do all these mice? And I don't know what point it was. I would assume that at Rosh Hashanah you already had the second madrege, because the Gemara brings down that in Russia we became bnei choichen. So I saw the bottle hashibud. That's a lotion. So bottle hashibud, Rashi says, that's what Rashi says this. Rashi says bottle hashibud. What do you mean bottle hashibud? I would assume that we were not even avodim for anything. So the second degree already took place on Rosh Hashanah. So, so 6.5 years we're living in Mitzrayim after the bittul hashibud. We're not going out, and we're still giving Pari a bunch of makis. What did Pari pour by? What did they do there? He says nothing. I'm letting your people have freedom. I'm letting them. That's not what we want. We want to leave. You want to leave or leave, son, I'm not ready to let you leave. Why didn't let you leave? Because either his original cholam, that he wanted the Jews to assimilate mamish, to become part of the nation. In other words, he needed their brain power. Okay, so we want to assimilate with you. So therefore, we're not letting you leave. You don't want to be an Eved, so you're not an Eved. So be a free man. Oh, but Lamaisi, you're still not leaving. Like Russia has. Okay. And then he tells him, go out and take him out of Mitzrayim. And he's mitzvah them. And he's now, and this time it's your job to figure out how to do this. And you see this talking from the Makis as they go right there, that the Rebbeinu Shem doesn't seem to be mitzvah him on how to deal with Pari. He just tells him when to go out to meet Pari and so on, how to threaten him, what Makis I'm going to bring. But Lamaise, when he wants to end the Makir, the Moshe Rabbeinu does this. Tell me, Pari, when you want to end it, then he goes outside and he prays to God and it's over. But the pshat is the Bensham didn't tell him, I'll end it. Don't do this. We'll probably stick with him. He didn't tell him that. Why? Because I gave you the job. You're not the job. And once they got the job, okay, so going into it. Now they're teaching this as a second argument. Shimshon for Hirsch. It's a different. Right now it says you were else for Sayim. What did he call himself in Pari? A kvad peh. He said, what's the difference with kvad peh and a else for Sayim? A kvad peh is a physical impairment. So therefore he got cured from the physical impairment. He burnt himself when he was cold with the mice with taking the cold, but Gabriel shoved his hand on the thing there and he took it to his mouth. So he burnt his mouth, so he had a lisp or something of that sort. That was cured of. Aber there's a place also where I have to learn how to speak. There's a way of how you present the case. You got to go to diplomatic school, so on. But I held he had a bigger problem, Pari. What do you tell me to go to Pari. To Pari, if I'm asking them, if you're telling me I have to get him out, if you told me originally the way I understood it before, that Pshat go to Pari and I'll take my people out, meaning just tell Pari, that's easy, you threaten him and he doesn't listen and we just walk out, so fine. So then you don't have to learn how to do anything. If you have to convince Pari, so you got to somehow be able to talk to him in, like I said, diplomatic manner. Diplomatic manner, I have to make myself the klenera, because Paro was the big man, and I got to make myself, I'm a big man. I never was a small guy. I was a melech all my life. I brought up the first 20 years of my life, I brought up in Beis Pari. The next 40 years of my life, I'm melech of Kush. How do I know? I'm a king. I don't speak down, I don't say please to anybody. How do I learn to do that? So he says, okay, we'll get Aaron to do the work for you. And that's what he tells him. So all of a sudden, he tells you Edel Roshi Beis Havoisam, and the reason they tell you Edel Roshi Beis Havoisam, I believe Rashi says it, is there are many reasons, but they want to go ad Moshe ve'Aaron b'shvil Moshe ve'Aaron. In other words, he wanted to give you the yichus of Moshe ve'Aaron. You know, you could have did this a long time ago, last week. We could have done it. What did he say last? Could have said, Amram vayikach Yocheved Edosai, and whatever, and they had Moshe Rabbeinu. So what do you want to say? You have to write all these psukim when you could have said 3 words over there. Yeah, because last time you weren't read. There was nothing to brag about. No, you had a beautiful kid, wonderful kid, the Yaki Toiv, the house lit up, whatever they saw over there. It has potential, but that's all he has. You don't know anything about the kid, what he's going to do in the end. There's nothing to brag about. He becomes Mashiach Hashem. Now I'm going to tell you who his parents are. Now you know why he became who he became. And that was the point there. So a lot of times when people brag about their kids, they're not really bragging about their kids, they're bragging about themselves. And that's the problem. I think that there's negias, and he don't want to push his kid. You see how my kid is, so he can sleep through the shiur. And he'll still know backwards and forwards. So you know who I am. I'm the guy who gave him his father, so I gave him all those brains. So how come you're not Talmud Chacham? Because I didn't want to be. So that's why but I could have been, so there's nothing to brag about. That's his bragging power. That's baloney. And the thing though, that's what the Banishah is telling him. Okay, and then he starts all over again, and then he starts over with the whole thing. I'm going to go and we're going to bring all these makis on him, and we're going to do it. So he's giving him warning before, so though I guess, so he shouldn't be broken. Once I know before that there's a possibility of being turned down, so all of a sudden, you know, if you get turned down, you don't get miyush. Because I knew he's going to have the power to turn me down, and he will turn me down. The reason was we're going to get him more. Okay. And then all of a sudden, and what will be with this thing? Is that he's in Mitzrayim, and there's idea is what they're going to learn. V'yodu Mitzrayim k'ni Hashem b'nteis Yisrael Mitzrayim. They'll know I'm God. In other words, that's the point that ultimately they will learn with all these powers that I have, and we'll see that he doesn't do it in one shot, that each makir, or each level, brings it up to a different degree. It also does not only for the Mitzrayim, it's also for the Yidden, that they didn't understand the power of God either. I mean, there's a point of that. So it comes to the point, but the point is that even when we believe in God and believe in the thing, we don't really truly understand who God is. The name God, the word God, is universal. Everybody knows what it means. It means someone that was a creator, there's someone that runs the show, everything else there. But it always bothered me in the, where do you have it? Yeah. What's the first slicha we say is when we say every day in Elul and in what do you call tefillah, what do you call I guess it slipped my mind away. Tefillah start something like Rina Vela Tefillah? Yes, but it doesn't have that. That's for the chazans. But the starts there something Tefillah, a cold Tefillah. Huh? Shemei Tefillah. That's what it is. Shemei Tefillah. Shemei Tefillah. It starts off with Shemei Tefillah, and we say it every day, and it talks about God, about the keich, what he did in this world and everyone else, and then it says, me b'chol ha'amim chacham like you. What are you, crazy? I mean, how you compare God to people? They're talking about what he's able to do, what he's able to do, and all of a sudden you're comparing him to people. I mean, what kind of a dimion is that? And then you see this a few times in plays. The idea is not that, what do you mean, who plays that you're like a person? You created people, so that you're going to be like a person? Of course not. It doesn't make any sense. What he's telling him is, even after all the chokhmas and everything else that you gave people, and they make up religions, and they make up everything else, but when they come to the concept of God, they can't have a concept of God like you. In other words, they have to have shnei reshuyos. They have to be like the Greeks, 1,000 gods, but they haven't even. But they come to the yesod that there's one God that has everything. That He's the manish, and He's the mevorech, and He's this thing that they have no concept how it could be. It doesn't make sense to them, and they can do it. And even in Poshet Zachen, after we went out of Mitzrayim, or Klal Yisrael should have been at a madrege to understand God is God, right? And this Poshet, they went through Lamakis, they went through Kriyas Yamsuf, Matan Teire. There's no question. So how come by the Meraglim they're not going to Eretz Yisrael? We're not going. We decide we don't want to go. What do you mean you don't want to go? Who's asking you? All of us, I don't want to go because I don't understand how God can take care of the Laman Alf and Lochem. What do you mean you don't understand? So I gave it this Maisa. I saw it in my time in 87 and 67. In the 67 war, what happened was the Israelis had 400 planes. All the Arab countries together had 400 planes. And they bombed them on the ground before they got off. So after that, they controlled the air. And once you control the air, you control the ground. So it doesn't make a difference. You were able to shoot everybody down, and no one's going to stop you. You were able to knock off the war in 6 days. Okay. Russia was the Renga copy on them all. They were coming into the war. We're going to come in. and the tactfully thing there. And people were saying, what's going to be if Russia comes into the war? And then there's the other guys that would say, well, if Russia comes, God will show a ness. What kind of ness can God show? And they think that the Arabs only had 400 planes, but the Russians have 8,000 planes. How are they going to show a ness? That's the only ness he got, is the one to knock off the planes because he bought them first. I mean, that's the only ness he can think of, because that's all they had. That's all I know God can do. I don't know he can do anything more. So therefore, I don't know if he can do any more. It doesn't mean he can do more. And that's what happens. So therefore, there is a point that we have to learn what God is. But we're supposed to learn from one Maaseh to every Maaseh. It's not a point of saying that the Maaseh, he can do that, but no guy, he can do something else. So therefore, I need a proof for none of them. That I don't need. Okay. So he told him to go to Pari, and we're going to give him some oasis. What are the oasis they're going to be? He's going to turn a stick into a sanin. Now it's interesting which sticks we're talking about here. There's Aaron's stick and there's Moshe's stick. Moshe's stick, we know he turned it into a nochash. That's not Aaron's stick. That's only Moshe's stick was into a nochash. Right here, I want you to turn them into a sanin. I don't know the difference. I would assume that a sanin is an alligator or something like that. But it's not. It's also reptile, but it's not a snake. Obviously, because why is he called a nochash and a sanin? So they think they're saying, they get into that. And he the sanin, right? And this, he says, tell you, who's felt around the kachas matcha, to take your stick, meaning Aaron, they can take my stick. Aaron should take your stick and throw him lifnei Aaron. That the thing there. So that was that would not be called that, because later on he gives them the tzivu kach matcha, take your stick, but he says it loshin. When he's going to power to tell him about dam, that there's going to be the makir dam, he says, I want you to take the stick that turned into a snake, which you hear, not the sanin one. So the sanin one happens to be the Musa is Aaron's, and yours happens to be the one that turned into a nochash. But that's the thing there. Anyway, come there. Anyway, my brother-in-law used to do this very good, because the Medrash goes, this was fun. Pari was supposed to be the Shiur is only a Amat high and Amat whatever it is. Anyway, he's this little guy, and you're coming to Pari, you want to show me magic. I mean, what they're going to sing that, and I all my boys, they'll do all the magic that you can do, right? And that's what they did. Right? So what happened, what they mentioned was that Vayishlish Mateh Vayilesaninim, Vayivla Mate Aaron Es Mateihem. The stick of Aaron was swallowed off all their taninim. There was a big difference, Not that my tanin swallowed your taninim. Now the only piece of magic that they did was this. Now don't ask me what they mean. I don't know what magic is. I don't know what Ira is. But there's two. The Shainis Rashi brings down below Tehem and below Hotehem. And the only time we find below Hotehem is when they made the Saninim. By Dam and by Sfadeya, they says below Tehem. Right? The difference is one is Maisi Kshofim and one is Maisi Shadim. So Kshofim is Lo Hotehem. That's the Saninim. So that's a new creation, like. Don't ask me what that means. How do you make a new creation? They can't make them, they can't make yesh miyayin, whatever it is. But what's done with the Maisi Shadim means that they were able to get Shadim to move the stuff around, to get it there as fast as they can do it. So that's the difference in the two. Okay. And he tells them, I'm going to go make dam and whatever it is there. And the reason that with dam, it's not even an annoying, it's annoying, but it depends how much we call annoying. They can't drink water, they can't drink things, but it's not going to be indefinite. So it's not going to be indefinite. So we'll wait it out. Don't make a difference. It's not threatening me. You're not hurting me that we can't make any drinks. So we'll drink soda. We have enough bottled soda and oil. Everything there. So it's not. That's not a problem. We'll buy from the Jews. Whatever he's going to do. Whatever. Or they dug holes around the whatever it is. So why did he do that for? Why is Dam considered a makir? So they were annoying, more annoying maybe than the Dam is. But again, what's the big deal? So the idea is I'm gonna punish your gods. In other words, what's your god? The Nile. Okay, well, the Nile is going to have a problem. He's going to punish you. The Nile is not give you life till now. It gives you, it irrigates your fields. You get fish from it. Whatever it is, it's all going to stop. And the thing there, you're not going to know how long it's going to last. But it's going to last only a week. But Lamaisa, I don't know, he didn't threaten it, it's only going to be a week. The people definitely not going to know it's only going to be a week. So there's going to be a panic and stuff like that. That is going to be, okay. And that's what he did. But the first thing he wants to show him that your gods don't have any power over me. So that's the first thing, okay. But that way, Yechazak leave Pari heart in his own heart. He didn't need, the God doesn't have to come in over here. He didn't, it wasn't enough to scare him in any way. Second time he comes down, he tells him, okay, I'm going to do Tvadeya, okay? And they're going to have this and this, we learn Mesilas Nefesh from the Tvadeya. They jumped into the ovens also. Jumped into them, that means they're going to die. Obviously, but it's an in of Kiddush Hashem, that there's certain things that they also did in this thing over there. Okay. So he did that, and Belotehem here, so he calls them okay, but now they don't know how to stop it. Both the Chatumim and Moshe made Tzvardeya, they don't know how to stop it. So now the country's overrun and it's annoying. It's a thing that wherever you want to go, there they are, and I guess they're ruchi. So they're not too thrilled about eating them in the middle. So I want you to get rid of them, and then I'll send them out. Okay. This is where he has this thing, his sporalai. Okay, show me when you want it. I want to show you how great God is going to be. Okay. He said, I want it tomorrow. So now his Paro is willing to test them and suffer some more. Like he said, I want it now. Right? And I didn't say no, tomorrow. I want to see, okay, now maybe you do some kind of trick you can get rid of them now. That's why you're offering. Oh, but let's see if you can do it when I say so. So I'm going to tell you, Maz, I want to suffer the test. Yeah, okay. There's no one like our God. That's the point. In other words, till now you were trying to say that the Chatumim can do the same things I'm claiming to do with God. They can make Saninim, even though my stick ate up their Saninim, but it's still Saninim, but a bigger magician than they are, so that doesn't make, you're not impressed too much. But you're going to go into Ndam, you're making to make, and Tzvadeya, making to make, so you're not impressed. So what's going to be the press? They can't get rid of it. So now you're asking me, so I want to show I can read it. There's no one like our God. So our God's going to be greater. So that's the first step. How big is our God? It doesn't say. But that we know that there's no one like our God, that we know. Okay. So you're going to do that. And Pali, you praise, and that's what happens. But they stink up the country. Why did he leave them? In other words, it's the entry locked by Yoshi Sharna. I can't really answer that except that they say that there's a constant reminder. Where did the Tzvadeya come from? They came from the Rebbeinu Shalom putting the mark of Tzvadeya here. That means the Rebbeinu Shalom has control over you. So remember that. It's always going to be around the Tzvadeya. So every time you see a Tzvadeya, you're going to remember that. Then he gives him, now v'hakpeh the sleeper, he hardened his heart, and he doesn't send, but he promised them that he's going to send them out. A melech usually doesn't change his mind. In these things you find that the melech does change his mind. Why? Because I'm being coerced. I'm not doing it, let's say not taif. So therefore I feel justified in being able to change my mind if I feel like changing it. So okay, you did that. So now kinim comes because you didn't do what you said you're going to do. I don't have to warn you about kinim. He doesn't come and warn him about him. There's three that he doesn't warn him about this, and shkin, and ultimately choshech. Okay. Every third one, really. Okay. And he has shkin. Okay, all of a sudden the Chatumim are trying to do shkin, and they can't do shkin. Somehow, whatever the control of whatever it is, is only on something that's at least the etzba, and whatever it is, the kingdom are too small for that. So okay, so they can't contain it. So they say etzba lekimhu. The recognition. We use this terminology that how do you know that the Avkol Makim Mitzrayim was an etzba, and the Yamsuf was Yad, so therefore every Makkah was 5 times as much as every one in the thing did. I mean, the will say maybe only Kinim was etzba because it don't really do nothing; it's just annoying. You know, again, it's itchy, but you're not killing anybody, you're not hurting anybody. So maybe that's only an etzba. So obviously they don't learn that way, or whatever they tell you. That somehow the fact that I can do this type of a thing, that's called etzba. Okay, so anything that thing. Then he comes and he warns him about I'm going to send bored. I'm going to send in, and what do you call it? I'm going to put in olive. I'm going to send the mixture of animals. Okay, and what am I going to do on that? That I'm going to make a difference between Eretz Mitzrayim and Eretz Goshen. The animals will not come into Eretz Goshen. Right there. And what will that do? Kani Hashem b'kerev ha'aretz. That I have a keach that I can. It's not just once I let it go, it goes. And therefore they go wherever they want to go. No, I have complete control over them all the time. Kani Hashem b'kerev ha'aretz. I run to whatever happens on the ground, on over there. So that's going to be the next lesson. Okay, and they won't be, and tomorrow it'll happen. Okay, and the olive came, and they destroyed the land. I mean, simply. Elephants trampled the place, whatever it is, the others, whatever they did there. All the animals, you let them hefker, they'll make a hefker of the place. So okay, this one was too much for him. I'm going to let you be. So now it's interesting. Till now, Pari was talking yes and no. I'm not going to listen. And now he's bargaining. So it becomes already coming in the bargaining, you're already recognizing you have an opponent. You know, the thing Dalton. So I'm willing to let you go and do it ba'oretz. I know I'm not ready to let you go leave the land, but I let you do it ba'oretz. And he says then that it just. They're not going. I mean, Moshe was not scared of them. So what's Moshe saying to them? You know, it's not right. You know, we're going to we're going to sacrifice their gods, and they're not going to stone us. So they're going to stone us. So big they're stone us. They'll make the stones go back and hit them in the head. I mean, what's the problem with the stoning us? I mean, Elavos, the pshat is that they're not going to be mekabel to understand what's taking place over here. So therefore, that's going to be something that they're not willing to listen, because it is completely against what they were raised with and stuff like that. So therefore, that's not a thing that it's going to accomplish anything. So therefore, they'll shleishes yomin neilach b'midbar, and we'll go. So he says, okay, just please don't go too far. You can go to 3 days, but not too far. Okay, and he says, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get rid of the olive right away. Tomorrow I'm going to do this, but it's not going to happen. But don't change your mind again. Okay. V'yas Hashem kivah Moshe, so he did it like Moshe said, Vayichbad Paris. Again, he hardens his heart. Again, tell me, hey, Efrim, okay, you don't want, then I'm going to show you the power of death, life and death now, I'm going to show you. But I'm going to do it in your animals. And the Jews is not, again, once you give Rishus L'mashchus to go, let's say a disease comes out and breaks out, obviously it gets everybody. It doesn't have not mafchim between this person. So therefore, when the fact is not going to shepherd the animals of the Yidden. So therefore you'll see that it's a magefa, then I control the magefa. Yosem Hashem Moyed Loima Mocha Yas Hashem Advar Zebaot. Yeah. And that's what happened. Again, he hardens his heart. Again, why, what did he help me? The shadow is what echad means over here, but it says clearly, we know the title of the word, Vayamas kol mikne Mitzrayim mikne Yisrael emes echad, not no one died, right? Yisrael probably emes mikne Yisrael ad echad. So that means one did die, but we didn't know it wasn't really a Jew, was it this, or that, well, that's the excuse. So use it as an excuse that, you see, it's not all powerful. There's something to do. But the chayre, ad echad, if you go in probably proper Hebrew, probably not even one, until one, not even one. It's ad bechlal, what do you mean? So what do you mean in that? So sometimes you want to be definite, so you say ad bechlal. But if I don't want to say that, but I also mean ad bechlal. But I just say till one, you're not going to have anything left over there. Yeah. Now, I claim, this is the thing that I said, I don't really have, but because it's different than Rashi. There are 7 makis in Parshas VuAira. There's 3 makis in Parshas Boy. Why did you divide them? If you want to make a set of makis, so you should have made all the makis in one set. What do you do with that? So I tell you, no. Really, what it was, the first 7 makis are makis that Pare had a choice, except that one of them, except for the 6th one, for Shrin, he does not have a choice. We'll see that in a second. But like this, the Ben Shem would have given him a choice. And on the 7th one, when we went through this, what did it say? I will harden his heart, and then he will let you go. So that means he has to give a hardening of the heart. Till now, the Ben Shalom didn't harden his heart. He was hardening his own heart. The first one that we have that he hardens his own heart is by Shrin. So now you harden your own heart. Now we'll give you one whack in the head for hardening your heart. That God hardened your heart, not that you hardened your heart. In other words, you were such a bum. You didn't chop it even from devil. Okay, Hashem slave Pari after Shrin. I gave you Shrin, and finally you weren't able to. That one also is going to, and that hurt even the Chatumim and whatever it is there. So, and you still didn't give in. Why? Because I wanted to punish you. You would have given in on this one, but I wanted to punish you there. Okay. So what happens? I did that, and now that I did that, I punished you for reaching that madrege, that you don't have a choice. In other words, it's not his fault, so why are we punishing him for? The idea is that you pass the point of your fault on the one before. In other words, I was so bad already that I got to give you so much punishment that I can't give it to you just in this market. So I'm going to give you one that you have no choice about. And that is the one of Shrim. I have no choice. I'm going to say no. You can't, so it's not going to help me. I can't scream, I want to do better. I can't do it because they're not letting me. And then meanwhile, I'm going to hurt. Now, but I'm going to give you now, after we get to that point, now we're back to zero, and I can give you now a choice again. And I'm going to give you Barad. And in Barad, he describes it, because here we can touch up differently, but there's Rishonim that learn like this. This is why. כי בפעם הזה אני שלח את כל מגפי על ליבך ואהבך ואבמך ועבודתך כי אין כמוני בכל הארץ, that there's no one like, no, there's no other God like this, כי אתה שלחת את ידי ואחריך ושמח בדבר ותכרך. So Rashi learns, it goes on Marcus Bechavis. They learn that that Borod, because he put into play contradictions of nature, fire, water, all coming down at the same time, and the same thing there, that there was a point that you see that there's just how much I control of nature. Now, the nature is all mine. So it goes on to bring this. And the Emerson, this should have been the last marker, and you should have gone out of Mitzrayim. You got anything there. And will you see that it worked? We'll see in a second. And one of the reasons I want is an Indian of Mansape Shmi B'chol Haaretz. I want you to tell my name B'chol Haaretz. Now we know that the Rabbeinu Shalom is not interested in forcing his name, because that doesn't prove anything. If we all serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu because we're afraid of him, right? But afraid of him because he showed his power, so what's the big deal? That doesn't mean anything. A king that you're afraid of because he can kill you, so of course I'm going to serve you. What's the difference? It doesn't prove anything to me, right? That you admire him or not. On the other hand, another guy, I admire him. Okay, that's a different story. That's what I want from you. I want you to come to recognize what I can do from you without having to see my thing. So Rashiba learns it by that Kofalim Hakigigis by Matan Teire. So like Reishim seemed to have told him that if you don't, he held the mountain over the head, you makabel the Torah. So wait, what choice did they have? So that's a simple way of learning, physical. Lashem says you don't have to learn that way, that couple means physically. There's no stira. You can say he was physical too, that's not the point. The idea is they saw the makis, they saw Kriyas Yamsuf, which all the nisim that you had in Kriyas Yamsuf, which is outstanding. And then you had Matan Teire, with all the nisim that took place over there. Can you deny there's a God in the world? Of course not. I mean, it's clear there's a God in the world. So if there's a God in the world, how are you going to go against him? Right? So the fact that you listen doesn't prove anything. That's not a milah. And that's why the Rebbeinu doesn't go and show us what he can do. Like we say, I take from the war, and then I think I mentioned it. If he wanted to show us the what that didn't become from, very simple. He makes a war, people get scared, right? There's no atheist in a foxhole, so 40,000 chilayim put on tzitzis. What's the kasha? I don't need you to make people from. If I want to make them from, I can make them from myself. That's not the issue. I want the people to become from because they become from because by themselves. Not that I'm forcing the issue. That's what he wants. And that's Kiruse. We went through this, I think, right? Kiruse. Kiruse means that goes on the world. I created like his lots. And Kiruse means he shows the godless of Hashem the way he wants it in the world. That's the way. Okay, another thing. So that's what he says. So what happened after he does Borod? And Borod is all the Nisim that took Borod. First of all, it kills people, and yet if you're in the house, it won't smash down the house. Same thing like by Devel. If the guy would have taken the animals into the houses, they wouldn't have died. And the thing over there. And now they learned their lesson from Devel, so therefore the Yorei Dvar Hashem, they took them into the houses, right? And now a thatched roof shouldn't help you against Borod. If you came down bricks of Borod, enough to kill you. So obviously, the fact that you have a thatched roof of straw is not going to go right through the roof. Like nothing there. How come it was protected? And in it you had fire and water, and the eish b'teich haborot, but eish mislakachas b'teich haborot, and something like that. So there was tremendous nisim taking place over here in Borod. And what had happens over there, and it destroys the things. And there's no Borod. Vayishlach par v'yikom esh v'am v'yem aleim chotosi hapam Hashem hatzadik v'ani v'am yerushalayim. He didn't have to say that. He could have said, God is stronger, it's too strong for me, I give up. Right? The same thing. White flag, well, I surrender. It doesn't mean anything. As soon as you turn your back, I'll kill you. But the idea is, I surrender. Okay, that's enough. Why do I have to say, Ani v'am yerushalayim? So obviously he came to some kind of a hakora that the God is right. He's doing what he's doing is right. He could destroy me. He's not destroying me. He's letting me live. He's letting me there. I have to reevaluate my thinking of what it is. Is power the only thing that exists? I have the power, therefore I can do it. Or no, there's things called right and wrong in the world, and whatever it is there. And he evaluates it that way, and he comes out, Hashem hatzadik ani v'am yerushalayim. So now you reach that madrege. Okay, now, if that's the case, no problem. I'll go pray to God, and you'll have it. As soon as I'm going out of time, I lift up my hands, it's going to stop. I'll explain that in a minute. That the land belongs to God, because he made it. So it's not pshat, he has powers. He is the land. There is nothing here but him. Whatever it is. Now there's a question of what this actually means. The ones that should have broken didn't break, and the ones that didn't break should have broken. Shouldn't have broke. I don't know. The only touch because simply fact that he left them enough to live. He didn't kill them, because otherwise you kill all the food in the world. So the fact that I stopped the boat is not going to help you any much. You're going to die of hunger in a week. So what difference does it make? No. Anyway, he goes in, he wraps up his hands. So the rain didn't reach the ground. So the Rashiva asked the Kasha, he says, what do you mean the rain didn't reach the ground? That means if the rain was a millionth of an inch off the ground, it doesn't touch the ground. It disappears right where it is there. So that's the keach of tefillah, he says. Tefillah happens keherafayin. In other words, I wonder if I'm moichel you, it's everything else goes back to thing there. So then there's nothing that's stopping in the way. So it's gone. So the rain, it could have rained another minute. What would have been? All the rain that already left the sky, let it hit the ground. What's the difference? Like another minute, 2 minutes. Right? What if it'd be power will be happy in that thing too, but no. Okay. So now now exactly why I don't know. He hardens his heart. Now he hardens his heart. Now I'm just going to kill you, but slowly. And that's the next 3 makis. That the thing over there. That's why it's in a different set. These 3 you earned just for being a stubborn guy. You realize the emes, and afal pikein you were able to stop it. That's where you get the punishment came over here. So that's what. And then exactly why that would happen. I mean, I guess. How can I tell you? I don't know. Because you see, even in the next ones they're going to be there. We have this really by ourselves, and then do tshuva. So Rashi, the Rambam brings down 24 things that basically it's hard to do tshuva on. Some it's hard because you don't realize you did an aveira. Some are hard because I don't give you the chance to do tshuva. You deserve to get punished, and therefore I'm not going to let you do tshuva and stuff like that. So there are that itself is part of the punishment. You can't do it. But even then, a person can overcome that. But you don't. And you say, because next week there's enough more to talk about. So, Acher, the mice is Acher is walking. Rab Meir was riding on a donkey on Shabbos. Rab Meir is walking behind him, learning from him, asking him shaylos and stuff like that, and he's learning. And when he gets to Tchum Shabbos, Acher, who's riding on the donkey, says to Rab Meir, Ad kan Tchum Shabbos, you can't walk anymore. So he says to him, Rebbe, do tshuva. He says, I can't do tshuva because every morning the Basko goes out and says everybody can do tshuva except for Acher. So I can't do tshuva. So what? You can't do tshuva. Are you sorry for what you did or not? If you're sorry for what you did, so I show remorse. I'm sorry. You know something. You can't be moichel me. So that's like what can I do? Oh, but I'm sorry. No, I'm only going to be sorry if you're going to forgive me. If you're not going to forgive me, I'm not sorry. If that's the case, then you're not sorry. If you're not sorry, I don't forgive you. It's as simple as that. That's why it doesn't work. The Bali Musa is very funny. They come out and he heard of a falshek, a basko. First of all, I don't know, maybe Bal Musa can say that. I don't know what about a basko. A basko says a basko is a basko. So Natana knows what a basko is. So whatever it is. And if he says there's such a basko, there's such a basko, don't tell me he misheard there's a sheker a basko. Except you never did tshuva. That's not called tshuva. I'm not sorry for doing what I did. I'm sorry for getting caught. That's not a mile of doing tshuva. So therefore, there's nothing to brag about. So, but you see that he still has control over himself. Now, I could do tshuva if I want to do. I don't want to. So over here you have that they walk out of Pari, right? The people of Tzvia, what happened there? Vayomer Abdi Pari Elov. Ad Mosai is Elon Lamoike. Shila Shalachas HaMoshim V'Yavdos Hashem Eloheim. Let him serve God. Haterem Teidak Yovdim Itanon Chino Mitzrayim is lost. Vayusha V'Smoisha V'Sal. They bring him back to Moshe and Aaron, to Pari. Pari was hardened. God hardened the next other. God hardened your heart. So how did they bring it back to you? The thing there of us. I know when they're beating me up, I'm able to conquer my Yetzer Hara, even when God says, I'm not going to let you go there, because I give you stubbornness, but I don't give you a metzias that's not normal. Thing there. So therefore, you're able to stop it if I gave you enough tzoros to do it. Except what did I do over there? I start arguing with you in philosophy. So over there he tells them, okay, yeah, you just stop. You're not interested in MS. You got sense in that, and then he chases him out of Pari. Okay, so if I want you out of there, I'm going to make you get so irritated that you can't control yourself even after you do it. And that point, Rebbe Shem does that. Even we said, Moshe kills the Mitzri is because you wanted to be like the Ibn Ezra said. He went out Lechav HaMitzrim. He went out to didn't go out to see how the Jews are doing. He went out with the Mitzrim. That's everything because I intend to be the next Paro and I'm going to free the Jews when when I become pari. So therefore, right now they don't have to worry about that and the stuff over there. So if I don't want you to do that, I make you walk out and you see a Jew killing a Mitzri killing a Jew. Immediately you get so angry that you can't control yourself. You kill the Mitzri. So now you got to run out of Mitzrayim. So therefore, yeah, if you want me to control you, I control the world. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. I make you to want to be stubborn. I'll make you stubborn, and you don't want to be stubborn, so I'll make you stubborn. I'll give you certain situations that you can't. It's too good. I mean, you have to become stubborn and stuff like that. On the other hand, if I want to break your stubbornness, they can do that too. Yeah, good Shabbos, everybody.